morning, everybody. I want to get into doing a London session midday report. Starting with the FTSE and the DAX. Begin with the DAX actually. Going out to a 4 or even out to a daily chart. We're watching an extension long still play out, similar to the ones on the S&P, the Dow, the FTSE. This one drawn from a 67.87 anchor to highs daily, big yellow trade here. I traded the 76.67s, looking for upside daily targets at the 89.56s, going down to a 15-minute chart. 4-hour chart. We're watching an extension long, also from the 80.40s, anchored highs 80.37 to be exact. Traded the third in the series at the 82.50s, looking for upside targets here of the 85.56s. Now going down to a 15-minute chart. Just today's price action, or this price action since this gap up, we've seen very aggressive extensions being purchased, and now a new extension drawn from the highs before the gap, the 83.71s. Actually, originally two gap fill highs that traded the extension, two targets. Now same anchor, new high. We're looking for support if it gets there. There is the potential though for to watch for a full long here as well. I'll pull back into 83.40s, but I'll worry about that once we get below the 83.97s. But pretty bullish still. Just maybe much larger ranges than some are used to trading. So these swings, these moves can look a little exaggerated on the smaller time frame, but it's really just somewhat larger levels trading. For the FTSE, going out to a daily time frame. Wait for my data to load here. Doesn't seem to want to load. That's alright, we'll just skip right down to the 4-hour chart, knowing that we're coming up off of a level. From a 4-hour perspective, we've traded back into an extension long drawn from the highs here, roughly the 63.18s anchored high. We traded this full long here at the 65.14s, upside targets of 68.08s, going down to our 15-minute charts. We've pulled into a full long off of the anchor lows from the 64.84s to highs here. This full long has upside targets of the 66.36s. This is kind of our short-term target. And today we're even inside a micro long, extension long, drawn from these 65.82 anchor to highs. Just like the DAX, the FTSE is pulling from the highs before the gap up to new highs here. So once traded to target already, just like the DAX. FTSE has a similar micro extension at the 66.02s that the DAX has at the 84.08. So watching both of those intently here. I have not been trading the DAX because I haven't traded it before. I need to familiarize myself with it, so it might be another month before we put out signals for the DAX, but we are going to trade it regularly. I'm not comfortable trading it yet, guys, and I'm not going to trade something that I'm not comfortable with. So we are going to bring back DAX signals in the future. Just not quite yet. I need to feel comfortable with the market, like I do with the S&P, which we're going to start posting signals for as well. Alright, coming down to start with the S&P 500 for a moment and take a look at what we're looking for today. We have no open gaps. They've all been closed at some point, except for today's gap, which resides at a 1686 quarter. A full long off of lows here would fill our gap and trade to the daily pivot. So if we're above a 96 quarter at the open, we won't look for a gap fill, but below a 96 quarter, Anywhere below, we'll be looking for the full pullback today into the 1686 quarters to 1684 support levels. Going out to an hourly chart here, though, we have traded into a next in the series extension long, drawn from our 53 anchor to highs. It's traded once to target, twice to target, now same anchor, new high. This is the third time from the 1679 fill. This anchor, the 53 anchor to highs, this is the third time it's traded, gotten participation, gotten free, and now we're running up into the 61.8 line of a full short off the high. So that short breaks. We look for the ambush long pullback here on the 15-minute time frame. Very logical, very succinct, very technical setups for the S&P 500. Looking at the Dow, stepping out to an hourly time frame. The similar extension level, we haven't really traded to its target. The Dow came down for a second test of its 15,115 anchor to 15,563 highs. The 15,600 highs, we're not pulling up to a new high because we didn't hit a new target. Coming off the 56 highs, we had a short that broke, still went to target, next in the series broke, and what we're running into right now is a full short off the highs, which I'm going to put in as purple because this is the only indice we follow that has a full short still on its chart. The S&P has hit its 61.8 line, kind of broken it, dipped in by one tick. FTSE DAX do not have this trade, but the Dow does already have a full long off of lows, and we'd be looking for a next in the series here on a 15-minute time frame, or potentially even extension. We have a gap fill today at a 15,380 level, so a full long off of lows aligns with the gap fill as well. But we're going to watch the 2 micro next in the series on the Dow for the rest into the New York session. The dollar yen. Stepping back to a daily time frame, we know we're coming up off of the 8094 reverse engineered extension. We broke shorts against that, but we also broke longs, giving us a very good potential beginning for a wedge. We went 61.8 line break, 61.8 line break on both sides of the market. Now we're looking for inside of this on an hourly time frame. Watching what happens as we consolidate between these two potential resistance zones. Between the 98.80s to 100, and support from the 97s to 95s. So there's 200 pip support and resistance ranges that we're inside of, as we are generally going sideways in this market. No clear longs off of lows have held. We've just been very much straight up in a short squeeze, just like we were very much straight down in a pretty aggressive sell-off. It's going both ways. I'm watching for either a 98.70 or 96.90. Full long off lows or full short off highs. Which one trades first to potentially give us some indication of direction? I'm not trading this because generally on the larger time frame, this looks like a wedge starting to form. We went 61.8 line. We broke both sides of the market, and we are looking like we're setting up into a short-term wedge here. So we'll see what happens. It's certainly bullish on a daily time frame, but lower than a daily time frame, it's a little harder to trade. The euro yen, stepping back to a daily, we've come up off of this purple level, which is a traditional after an extension. The full next in the series extension long actually resides below at a 23.20. This purple trade, which is a traditional after, if it goes to its target, we're going to start pulling anchor highs that are marked with this blue to new highs and start new extensions. So this is a very aggressive on the euro yen. It's bullish, and it's excuse me, on a 4-hour time frame. inside of this purple trade, we broke shorts, we've pulled into the full long, we dipped in a bit, defended a 628 line, and now we're running into full short resistance off the highs. We'll see if this can break. If it does, potentially anticipate the ambush. Otherwise, it looks like we are in longs against a short that has obviously the potential to break, and we're going to be watching this closely over the next session as well. The Aussie yen has actually turned considerably more bullish. Let's go out to our 4-hour time frame and work our way down. We have a full short, extension short, that traded once to targets in June. Same anchor new low. We flagged for the entire month of June, majority of July, and finally hit targets on August 1st. Going same anchor new low now on this 4-hour extension short would have a relief rally up into the 91.25s. While below 92.40, we would have targets of an 84. From a daily perspective, we know we're in this massive long. I can turn off that level. This big daily swing trade long for 114 targets, 113.80. Going down to now an hourly time frame. Coming down off the 92.75's prior highs. We had full shorts, went into extensions. We witnessed this extension trade once to target here. You can see it drawn from this 90. It's called a 96. We'll just call it the 90.60. It's close enough. It's really a 58. It looks like anchor to lows. Traded 2 targets. Now same anchor new low of that pull has broken the 618 lines, which means there is a valid pullback at the 97.90/88 level in the direction of the 91.25s, in the direction of our daily swing trade long, to take us up into the 91.25s at the very least. These 91.25s, they break. I would like to be long into that level for the potential of a break. And I'll be watching the 88 area with intent to buy, maybe even sometime today. We'll see what happens. Moving to the Aussie US dollar, which we actually had an orders out overnight. Looks like they're not going to get filled, so I'll be pulling those shortly or updating them if we go below a 90 level. We go below 90.90s, and I'll be updating them. But we have held this purple extension short that I remember Pete was talking about. There were 2 extensions we were watching. It was this reverse engineered extension that we've seen trade once to target, twice to target, and now has traded a 3rd time at the 92 handle. We were originally anticipating the new extension from the 93.20s to lows, and that did not work. Didn't even get free. And we took a stop on it. But it does look like we are in this 92, it's really a 91.80 short, extension short with targets of an 86.90, so about an 87 we'll call it. Off of prior lows, however, on the Aussie dollar, we did hold a traditional long, went to and through targets. We then began extensions that traded once, now same anchor new high, have traded a 2nd time. This extension long is against a traditional short off the high that went to target. Now next in the series short is holding, and even going down to a 5-minute time frame to look at what the micros are doing, we see the micro long dipping in, hitting a 618 line, and the full micro short holding off of its high as well. So could go either way in the short term, but we do have a next in series short off the highs from the 91.40s that would break the extension long, and after this extension long breaks, we'll look for that ambush short off the highs, and we'll look to hop in on the shorts then for the Aussie dollar. Okay. The pound From an hourly perspective, maybe 4 hour will show it better. We traded traditional to target. Next in the series long is a 53.40. Okay, so we're looking for a pullback in the pound to a 53.40 area, and going down to a 15-minute time frame, we have a series of shorts off the highs that has traded, but I'm more inclined now to just watch for the full short off the high, because we did break the potential extensions, and be shorts off highs in direction of pulling into a larger long. So I don't really look at the pound on anything less than an hourly time frame typically, just because it's just the way it moves. It just kind of goes. It's a little less liquid than our other pairs. So the euro, from a 4 hour perspective, we've pulled into a traditional inside of and in the direction of this aggressively front run long that has the 143.40 or 134.30. Excuse me. Upside targets. I would not be surprised to see the euro pull into a full long all the way down to 130.80s at this point, and I'll be watching and being prepared to be a buyer at that level. Until then, we just have aggressively front run full longs in this next to the series long that traded very aggressively front run, has 134.30 targets, traditional inside this level, drawn from the 131.90s anchor to the 134 highs, has traded at the 133, gotten participation here, and getting a bid off this level. So it is against, and it looks like the resistance we're holding today is actually halfway back short for the week. Just yesterday's high to the lows, kind of like this Globex time frame, is getting a reaction short. So below 133.20, this long remains in jeopardy, as that is where the resistance from our 15-minute Globex short on the euro resides. And the last but not least, the EURUSD. Gold, I only have a brief thing to say about it, and I will in a moment. So the EURUSD, stepping back to our daily time frame, this is what's important now because we've broken everything else. The daily though chart is pretty clear, and actually a very nice setup here in my opinion, going into fall trading. We had a full traditional off lows, went to and through targets, and we've been waiting and looking for this daily extension long, drawn from a 131.91. It's really 131.92 when you round. Anchor to highs. This full daily swing trade long has an entry to 140.93. Stop below 138.80, targets of a 154. Going to an hourly chart, maybe 4 hour chart is better. Yes. We broke extensions. Same anchor new high here, broke. Upon breaking, we haven't had a full short off the high. And we'll go and we'll look at what we are looking for, but on a 4 hour time frame, we're actually looking for a full short off the highs now to take us down and into the 141 area on the EURUSD. I believe it's time for this daily swing trade to trade. Coming off of our highs, now going down to an hour chart, we had a full short, defend a 61.8 line, went to targets, went through targets, and now we have an extension short drawn from the lows at a 147.40 anchored to lows. This extension has traded, gotten its participation, gotten free, and looks to be the area of resistance that is taking us down into that could take us down into, start the sell-off down into this extension or this area. So again, full short off the highs is valid here. It actually would be a seller there if we get there. I hate the fact the EURAUD always scares me whenever holding the traditional, but 147.20 looks like the sell, and we will I'm going to put out orders here shortly for that setup, a full ambush short on the EURAUD. Alright everybody, good to be back. Had some computer issues myself. It was my machine's, first off, I lost 2 laptops in my my trading mobile laptops I lost in that car accident last month, which was unfortunate. I haven't replaced them yet, which I need to go do now because my trading desktop at home was getting a blue screen, and that is just a killer. Yeah, man, being in positions and being a trader without a machine is like the death sentence. It was the longest weekend of my life, but I was able to get all my computer issues sorted and back in action here. So thanks for your patience yesterday and today as I was trying to still figure them out, but everything's good. This little minor update here, looks like we're trading into these 15-minute extensions here on the DAX and the FTSE 6600 support, and then 8400 support, really, or 8405 support on the DAX. So trading into those longs here. And okay, last thing to say about gold, just daily extension short against a full long off lows. Which one's going to work? Who gives it up first? Technically, everyone, I do want to make everyone aware, a full short off the highs on gold is valid. So we could actually trade up into the 1551s, but below 1400, we're looking for downside of 1100. Otherwise, it's up into 1551s that will take us down into the 1000 full halfway back long area on gold. So, good stuff, guys. We're just going to continue to monitor the 4-hour chart of gold. I'm not trading it at this time, not until we get and come off the 1000 level, or off the short. So, alright everybody, have a great day, and we'll be back with you as price action develops.